You are now listening to the Checkmate Arcade Podcast, episode 218, recorded on December 11th, 2015, brought to you by Frigid Blast Studios in association with NoobReview.com. Hello and welcome to the Checkmate Arcade Podcast, your home for quarter munching fun. And are you ready to race for the gold? I know I am. My name is Stephen Boss, the Dark Boss Man.
And oh my gosh, I am so annoyed at Microsoft stuff right now. Ugh. I'm MSU Hitman Jason Billingsley.
And joining us this week, we have a friend of the show, Scott. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing all right.
Good to know. Good to know.
All right, so I'm going to have to take control of this because Scott is here as part of my thing, the special surprise. So we're going to set this up here. I know already, but Steven has not been able to start yet his birthday present that I sent him, which was a copy of Witcher 3 for Xbox One.
Thank you, by the way.
All right, no problem. I had semi-ulterior motives to get that steelbook, but I wanted you to be able to play that because we probably won't. You probably won't get a chance to start. And I fought the fight with Dragon Age last year, and I can't fight it with Witcher again. So, or likely not. But I want you to at least be able to experience that game. But the reason Scott is here is because of something else that is going to serve as your Christmas present and next year's birthday and Christmas present. So, what I need you to do is open up your Yahoo email real quick. There should be a very recent message that is forwarded from me.
All right, open that up.
And Scott is in on this. He knows, so...
You didn't.
That's the pony.
Merry Christmas / 2016 birthday / 2016 Christmas.
Oh, you guys, you didn't, really?
Well,
we're all going to PAX again, aren't we?
Yeah, as long as you can pay for the hotel, your share of the hotel room this time and not do it in Magic cards, which weren't...
I should be able to now that I have a job at UPS.
Okay. Yes, but I have to thank Scott because he's the one. And the funniest thing is, like, Scott, when was it that I messaged you and I was like, wasn't it like the Sunday before those went on sale?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, something like that. I was like, well, they always go on sale mid to late November. And I was just trying to see, hey, if I bought Steven's ticket, would you be able, could we set this up? And sure enough, that Wednesday at noon Central, 1 Eastern, you sent me a message on Facebook. And thank God I didn't have a customer come into Oric at that time. And I was able to sit in that queue and I had to buy individual day passes. Like when I got in, I think 5 minutes after the queue opened, I spent 10 minutes in queue. And by the time I got in, there was only one 3-day pass. Like it was like 3-day passes. I could get one. And I was like, and I hesitated. And then that 3-day pass disappeared. So I had to buy individual day passes for all three of us, which... it was a little bit more expensive, more than I thought I was going to be paying, but,
Well, those 3-day passes they're always gone when you blink.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. They really need to find a place that they can expand a little bit more.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's the biggest place in Boston. Like, I mean, it's getting to the point to where, I mean, what are you going to do? Hold it in the flippin', are they going to go to Indy and hold it in the Indy Convention Center? I mean, that's, where Gen Con is.
Then it wouldn't be PAX East.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know where else on the East Coast has a bigger convention center.
Yeah, I don't know.
I doubt.
Maybe there's one in New York, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I honestly don't know of one. So, I mean, it's just kind of, there's just such a fervor to go there. But, I was able to save up. I've been selling some stuff on Amazon. And so, yeah. And I'm not going to forget my train ticket this time. I'm going to take the train like I planned on to last time. And, and I'm assuming you and Scott will drive down or up, I should say, as you did before. So, yeah, I was able to get them, and I'm also hoping that Mario Party 6 for Giant Bomb is going to be there, which will be really special.
God.
Because I'm the one that sent them Mario Party 6.
I really don't know that they're going to do that again. But if they do, oh yeah.
It went over so well. I doubt they do it for PAX South. I doubt they do it.
I don't know.
It went over so well at PAX Prime that I'm kind of secretly hoping out of...
That'd be pretty cool, yeah.
Out of just sheer, I don't know the right adjective or adverb I'm looking for. Not jealous, selfishness or selfishness, yes, out of pure selfishness, considering I'm the one that sent them the game. So
yeah.
But they'll do some stuff similar to PAX, and I'm a prime. I'm a premium member, so I can get into all this stuff. So
yeah,
it's just it depends on. Oh, okay. So it just depends on the so both of us can get you in, Scott. It depends on when I get there. The train. I haven't looked at the PAX forum yet to see the train. I'm probably going to try to order those tickets, and then I'm going to start looking this week for hotel, something fairly cheap that apparently we might be able to split 4 ways.
Yep, hopefully.
Yeah, so...
Okay, who's the extra person coming?
It's a surprise. You love those.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the 4th person, so... My surprise ends just with what we're doing here, so...
Yeah, okay. That's just a huge gift.
You're welcome.
Thank you again.
You're welcome.
Be nice to get back up to PAX.
Yeah.
PAX East.
Yeah, because Prime just, oh god, yeah.
Yeah, those are just gone.
Not only that, but the cost.
Before you even see the minute count over.
Yeah, not only that, but the cost is just...
Yeah, also the fact that that's an extra day of time-wise.
Well,
anyway.
it's the airplane. Like, you have to fly there. Or take the train.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have a train that goes from the east to the west one. I know.
I think you have to get off and transfer to another train at some point, but there is a way to go from coast to coast.
Yeah.
But that's like ridiculously expensive.
I'm
pretty sure it's more expensive than a plane ticket, actually.
It might have been, yeah. So, but anywho, so yeah, I just wanted to have Scott on here for that, and thank him for giving me the alert, and thank all, thank deity. I'll try to be nice here, that I didn't have customers walk in and me miss my chance.
Thank the Egyptian gods,
yeah,
because nobody really cares about worshiping them, apparently.
Raw and Slifer, and what was the blue one?
Praise the sun, my man. Praise the sun.
Yeah, praise the sun. There you go. Little Dark Souls there. But yeah, because once you get in, you only have like 10 minutes to complete the transaction, or you get booted out to the back of the line. So if I had a customer come in, I would have just been screwed. But I was able to get through and everything. So Scott, thank you for the alert. And yeah, we're gonna do this PAX East thing again. I am excited to go.
It was fun last time.
I'm excited to go to a BioWare base before a game. Like, we went, last time was cool because that was pre-Inquisition. now we're going to be going pre-Andromeda. So.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I forgot that was next year.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's this time next year. That's, as of right now, unless CD Projekt pulls out some miracle, that's the big RPG of next year, at least the end of next year, as we know it right now.
Okay. Well, let's just hope they get it right. We don't want them to rush it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've been working on this for 3 years. I mean, Dragon Age is a different team. I mean, Mass Effect team is a totally different team from Dragon Age team now. So
I know, but still, I want them to get it right.
Right.
I don't want them to rush it.
Yeah. I concur.
Well.
All right. Well, Scott, I think you said, you're free to stay on as long as you want, but I think you had a time commitment thing to get to. So that's why I wanted to get, I don't know if you're good for now or, I mean, you're more than welcome to stay on as long as you want.
I gotta get going. My niece is getting impatient. Although I am looking forward to hope that, like, Gears of War 4 is some way playable at PAX.
That would be cool,
yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. I can't even imagine the line for that. Oh God, that would be that would be the 7-hour line.
Talk about Line Simulator 2016.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no joke.
PAX East, my man. Whew.
All right, Scott. Well, thank you for joining us real quick, and thank you very much for giving me the alert that the tickets went on sale so that I was able to get them, and we're all going to get to go again.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Take care, man.
All right. Well, okay. I guess I'll have to talk to him later then.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, we're lucky we even got him on because I meant to message him last night, but I got deep into one of the games that I was playing, and it's like, oh crap, I should actually get some sleep because it's way too late. So, and then I just kind of, hey, are you at home? And he was, and I was like, hey, could you be on here for the first little bit so I can spring this surprise? Because he had asked, when, I was like, well, whenever we record Checkmate, and, there had been some issues and delay, but...
Oh, God, I was, sick with the flu and a cold. Oh, my, it was, horrible.
I have so far, knock fake wood, the people...
If you get the flu this year, you are going to be laid out. It is a bad flu this year, if that's what I have.
Okay, well, something happened to one of the org stores that I work at, the one on the Illinois side of the river. The people that work there, the mother of the clan had her 90th birthday this last weekend. And
when you say clan, you mean
hers
family.
The lady that runs that store 5 days a week. I'm there 1 day a week to give her one of her 2 off days.
Okay.
Her and her husband work that store. That's her only job.
Just trying to be clear.
Yes. That's her job. Her husband, that's his second job, and his primary job is working janitorial for a school district. So, the mother on their side, or I forget which of them two, but anyway, one of the mothers turned 90, so we had a big, they had a big, 30, 40 people all celebrating that, and then everybody got sick. The 90-year-old mother got sick, had to go to the hospital because it was so bad, and then the daughter and the husband and the wife were all laid up super sick, and I had to see the husband Wednesday. Because, I had to go and I had to work that org store on Wednesday because she was, deathly sick. And then the husband came in to relieve me so I could get to job number 2. So I did have to interact with him a bit. And, don't know if it was flu. It was gastronomical in nature. So it was not for sure if it was food poisoning or bacterial. So I was just kind of like, But that's been 2 days ago, so far so good.
Yeah, as long as you're washing your hands and avoiding touching your eyes and nose and mouth, hopefully you're okay.
Yeah. So far so good. But so yesterday was okay, I'm off both jobs. I'm just going to turn the alarms off and just sleep in. And I pulled one of my patented sleeping ins, and so I'm way behind on stuff. Like I didn't get anything done yesterday at all.
Yeah.
But sounds like things are picking up for you. I don't know
Yeah.
what you.
I started working at UPS as a package handler. And if you do not have a lot of muscle mass, that is rough work at first.
Yeah.
So this entire week has been a little on the rough side as I'm trying to build up some muscle to get enough stamina to keep going. Hopefully I'll be alright for Sunday, because Sunday is the big crazy day where I'm going to be working a lot of hours.
Yeah, because that's the...
Sunday's the busy day.
Okay, more so than the 20th.
What do you mean?
Well, 13th of December versus the 20th.
Oh, no, it's just every Sunday is their busy day.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
This is just their entire busy season, so it's even worse. Yeah. So, yeah. I could be working from, was it 9:15 to 5 p.m.
Oh, poor baby.
Doing manual labor.
That
constantly.
That is true. That is true. But
that's rough.
Yeah, but doing...
with very little breaks in between.
This is true. This is true. However, I will put 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at job number 1. Granted, not, some physical labor and doing repairs, but not constant.
If you're not constantly every 3 seconds lifting a package, don't start.
Okay, but...
don't start with me, my man.
Okay, but then 6 to 2 a.m. at job number 2, which you know what it is, and constantly on feet with no break. And
all right, yes, being on your feet, that's rough.
Yeah. So doing the midnight long. Okay, so I understand better than you think. Now, granted, mine is not as much manual labor, but
God, I was huffing and puffing at the end of Sunday last week.
Yeah. I can imagine. So that is good, and now hopefully things will be okay. We can get you. Get you.
I just realized. I hope I can get the vacation time for PAX East.
Well, now.
Oh, I hope so.
All right. So, well, yeah, we gotta. Well, we gave you a couple months' notice. We give you 4 months' notice.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, now that that's out of the way, why don't we get into our now playing?
All right, let's spin up the gears on a brand new show. So, what have you been playing these past couple weeks?
Not a whole lot of variety. A lot of one.
So basically, a lot of the same as me.
Yeah, although I'm hitting some of the bigger November things.
Yeah, you've got way more new releases than I do. Also, I don't have any new releases at all. Yeah. I have new patches. Something.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Okay, so I'm going to start on Vita, and I went from Persona Q to said Orc store on the Illinois side of St. Louis has charter business internet.
Okay.
So Jason decided to finally to open the 64 gig memory card that I got this spring when PlayAsia put it on sale, and move all the Vita exclusive games to the 64 gig card, fill up the 64 gig card with various Vita games, take the 32 gigabyte card and fill it up with PSP stuff. So now I have a 64 gig card full of Vita exclusive games, and then a 32 gig card, which I could get more if I hooked up my PS3. It's a weird Vita thing where you have to download some things on PS3 and then transfer them to the Vita. It's stupid. But I have a 32 gig card, which could be a 64, up to a 64 gig card. Like, I need a second 64 gig card now, so bad. But now I have a PSP/PS1 exclusive card. So I kind of borrowed our store's internet to download all these PSP and PS1 games to this 32 gig card. And I decided to start up a Persona 3 Portable again. This time playing essentially the real quote-unquote Persona 3 as the male protagonist and Elizabeth and all this stuff.
Okay.
Previously on the show, when I had talked about it, whenever that was a couple years ago, that was on the physical version playing the female protagonist.
I mean, technically it really doesn't matter because it's a silent protagonist anyway.
Well, some of the stuff changes, and I mean, there's differences. There's notable differences. The core is the same.
Right.
The core is the same, but it's just, there's all this Persona Arena stuff that I haven't touched yet, and Persona Q, and it's like, I haven't seen half the cast of 3. Like, I've never gotten to the point. There are like 4 major characters in Persona 3 that I never got to because I only got to the first month. Like, on my original playthrough of Persona 3 Portable, I beat the first boss and then I quit for whatever reason. Ran out of time, whatever. I am up to right before that boss fight again. So in just a couple of days of playing at that store when it was slow, I've gotten back up to that point. So now I'm trying to follow guides and stuff, and it's just making me wish that there was an actual, like, Persona has this weird history with the guides. Like, I forget if it was I forget who did the guides, but someone did a guide for Persona 3 and Persona 4. It's these weird little mini guide, like mini book things. It's still a full guide, but it's physically like half the size. And they don't work for the updated versions because they made changes to the questions in class and all these other things. Like, if you see the Persona 3 guide and the Persona 4 guide out there, they exist, but they only work with the core PS2 release of those games. If you're playing Persona 3 Portable or Persona 3 FES, and then on 4, if you're playing Golden, the guides are useless. Or almost useless.
Okay.
Because so many things have changed. So it's just like, and the FAQs, especially on 3, the FAQs on game FAQs are not that good. Not as good as what's available out there for 4. And also the IGN guide for 3 is almost non-existent. So, yeah. So I'm kind of going in a little more blind than I like to in these Persona games, because these are not Tales games where you can mostly, Persona does show its Shin Megami Tensei a little bit, in that if you don't prepare properly and keep multiple save points, you can get to a point where you're either screwed or have to grind like crazy to get the proper persona and ability, to.
Right, yeah.
So, but, playing 3, having a good time with that. I'm closer to beating Q than I am 3, but I'm gonna kind of alternate between those and try to get those beaten, and then of course Golden I have to do at some point.
Yeah.
The problem with switching the memory cards on a PlayStation Vita is when you do that, it has to reload its internal database or whatever. And all the formatting you do, like, okay, these icons are on this page, and these icons are on the next page, and I've got this all set up in the way I want. The minute you remove the memory card, that's all shot.
You mean it doesn't save that to the memory card?
No, it doesn't. It jumbles up them all everywhere.
That's real weird.
Yeah, it's bad quirk of the Vita.
Yeah.
Because I guess they thought, well, nobody's going to switch memory. Why would somebody want to switch memory cards? Well, they're so freaking...
Because you don't sell, 256 memory cards?
Yeah. Yeah. So, exactly. So, So that's slightly annoying. Now we're going to get to Xbox One and all my Microsoft annoying...
Oh boy, here we go.
I concede that I have horrible internet. Anybody that's listened to this show. Oh, before I forget, I got a friend request. I don't remember his name. And I'm sorry I've forgotten your name. I got a friend request specifically through this show on PSN since the last episode. And I forgot his name. And I apologize. Because I got a random friend request and I was like, who is this from? Thinking it might be from one of the, podcast groups on Facebook. Not ours, but like the IGN ones and stuff. And no, he was a Checkmate Arcade fan. And I cannot remember his name. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, if you can look it up, I might be able to put it in the show notes.
Okay. I may wait until you're doing it, so it won't tug down my connection. But anyway, so getting back to Xbox, I can see that I have horrible internet. I am going to actively, honestly look about getting Charter. I've got my AT&T caught up. AT&T to go to Uverse requires a contract. I believe I can get one with no contract with Charter as long as I'm okay paying full price. But full price for Charter is probably going to be about the same price I'm paying for this crappy DSL now.
For how much speed?
Charter's like 50 megs.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big upgrade.
Yeah, we're talking like yours, we're talking like
50 up and 50 down would be better than what I have.
No, it's not 50. It's not 50 up. I mean, it's 50 down, but it's probably like 5 or 10 up.
Oh,
it's probably close to what you're getting out.
I get 20. With FiOS, I actually get 26, 27 up or down, and about 25 up.
It's not fiber, so yeah, you have FiOS. I didn't realize. I thought you were still on Comcast. So
no.
Okay,
we abandoned that awful giant long ago.
Okay, so Charter would be similar to I mean, it's not fiber, so and Google is
still a huge improvement, though.
Oh yeah, I understand, and Google is hitting every Midwestern city, it seems like, except for St. Louis, but
Come on, Google.
Well,
give him that gigabit. Come on.
AT&T is supposedly doing fiber, but they haven't done it yet. I don't know. Anyway, so
they have no incentive because they don't really have enough competition.
Yeah, they do with Charter because Charter eats their lunch on speed. Like Charter's basic internet speed blows, I think, even the highest level of Uverse out the window. Like AT&T just has to rely on people being okay with slower speed because they hate Charter. Like that's AT&T's thing. It's like, but you also have to have a contract.
Right.
So, but I mean, granted, I used to work for Charter, so I mean, I don't have as bad a experience, as
I mean, as long as they'll give you a consistency with your internet,
right,
then that's fine.
And these are fresh lines. Like literally, remember a few years ago on the show, I talked about the contractor that was running the cable wire in this apartment falling through the roof and crashing onto the staircase right in front of the door to my apartment.
Oh, geez,
so these are fresh lines. These lines are younger than the show. So I should be good. So, but it's probably going to require me buying a new surfboard modem because my old surfboards modems I have aren't compatible with the current thing, and I'm not paying the $5 a month lease for. I mean, it's
not worth it after a year.
So, anyway, so conceding the whole internet thing that I'm sure some of you are tired of hearing about, that leads into this rant, because how have you people survived? How have you Xbox One owners survived this update process? Because let me tell you what happened. I've gotten some games for Christmas from Black Friday, because that's when the sales were. And one of them was Borderlands Collection on Xbox One, so that I could conceivably eventually play the game with Steven and maybe or Scott if he ever got an Xbox One. My saves are on 360, so I need the Xbox One version so that the saves will carry over. so I could play
Yeah.
with you or whatever if you ever do get that.
Oh, well, with my non-existent save, it would...
Well, yeah, true. Yeah. But still, my characters are there, and I don't want to start over on PS4.
Right, yeah.
So, I 8 o'clock last night, and it's almost 3. We're doing Central Time here, so 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. So 19 hours ago, I put in Handsome Collection. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be playing this PS4 big RPG we'll talk about in a second. You can probably guess what it is. But while that's going on, I'm going to have this thing because the updates and the install are all meshed together. They're not separate entities like they are on PlayStation, which is really nice because that means you can pause the update and play the game offline if you want to. So something like Fallout, for example, the minute I put that disc in, I can pause, or like Dragon Age, for example. Like I can play Dragon Age offline while the patch downloads. I just can't do the multiplayer mode or, whatever. I can play the game without having to have the current patch, or the patch can be downloading in the background. Can't do that on Xbox.
That's not really been my experience.
Well, what?
I just hit install on whatever disk I put in that drive and let it roll. Once the disk is fully installed, I click on the icon, then it goes and tries its updates.
Well, okay, well, here's what happened with the Borderlands collection. As I said, 19 hours ago, I put that in.
Mm-hmm. Did you click the icon and try to play it right away?
No, I just... Because I've downloaded games before, just install. Like, I didn't have a problem with Destiny, which I have, I think, fully patched now. But it was still annoying because, like, say, like, Call of Duty, like, I can't play the single player Call of Duty while this is installing and everything. Because it's...
I don't know why anyone tries to play the games before they're fully installed anymore.
It's nice feature to have on the PlayStation side of things that I'm
used but to. They really don't do it right. They put gates in there that shouldn't be in there. It's not fully really installed enough.
I am able to get by okay most times. Now, NBA and Madden, some things there kind of suck. But the sports games aside, I can put in Fallout, the patch is updating, I can play Fallout while it's patched, But anyway.
I don't know why you'd want to, because you always want to have the latest patches for a Bethesda game.
Yeah, I just wanted to start it. I just wanted to play it a bit.
All right.
All right, so the Borderlands collection, as we sit right now, I had to pause it so we could record the show. Mm-hmm. As of right now, the pre-sequel is sitting at 94% installed, and then some type of thing happened this morning when I was asleep to cause that to stop and Borderlands 2 to start, and Borderlands 2 is at 30%. That was 19 hours ago I started this process, and the game still, one of the 2 games in that collection still isn't fully installed and patched and whatever.
Yeah, that's not normal, because it doesn't usually take that long.
Thank God I've not had the update things where it goes to 1,000% up, I think Halo is notorious for that, and some other games where it'll patch to 1,000%. I think Destiny is that as well. Like, it'll say, 999%.
Weird, okay. Yeah, never had that happen either.
Well, Jeff Gerstmann did, I've seen other people with it. It's just like the install process on Xbox One, and I have heard things as well. I've been at GameStops when those calls come in, because I'm at the back of the midnight line and the people at the front of the midnight line are ranting and raving, that the game's not playing and da-da-da-da-da. And it's always like a new Xbox One owner. It's kind of like, yeah, that's kind of how it is. Sorry. Xbox One's just like that. It's a little better on PlayStation, but...
I cannot believe I've never had any of the problems you're having, though. It's so crazy how different our experiences have been. The worst I've had is my system just deciding to go, this game ain't gonna work right now. Time to reboot.
Not had one of those yet, but yeah, it's just
That's the worst I've had during the entire time.
being.
Although actually, there is one thing. I had something really, really weird happen that I've never seen or heard anything about before. Playing Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
We had just finished the raid couple of weeks ago, and I go to the tower to decode all my engrams. And it tries to load the tower, and then it says, your disk, this part of the disk isn't actually installed. So it boots me completely out of the game and crashes. I have no idea what happened there, but as soon as I loaded it up the next day, it was perfectly fine.
The only thing, I did have some faulty discs on PS4. I talked about that with which is why I'm so behind in Metal Gear with that whole debacle with Metal Gear and Until Dawn and everything. I had to swap those discs, and then I also rented the Uncharted collection only so that I can get a save file, which I finally figured out. All I had to do was boot to the menu, change an option, and exit out of the options, and that made a save file. That's the gate for the Uncharted collection for the Uncharted 4 beta. Multiplayer beta.
Okay.
You just have to have a save file. So once I made that save file from changing the options, I was able to back out. I had already installed the beta part, and it wouldn't. But I was able to delete the Uncharted collection, and I have a save file because I changed the options. Yep, okay, here's the Uncharted 4 beta, which I only did the tutorial, so that's why I'm not going to mention it here. But I'm going to try to play it for next episode. I've got a couple of days here left, but I just didn't get around to it because of the game we'll talk about on PS4 in a bit. But
all right.
The other thing with Microsoft is our process today of almost 45 minutes or 30 minutes.
Some like that.
For me to try to update Skype.
I don't know what happened on your side. It sounded pretty bad from the things you said.
It wouldn't update through the program like normal. And they said, well, you have to go to the site and download and do it from there. Okay, fine. Right. I had not visited Skype.com since Microsoft bought them. That's how long it's been.
It's been a while since I've been there, too.
Yeah. So it was like, okay, you want to sign in with your Microsoft account? Sure. Oh, well, we need you to link your Skype account. All right, fine. I think this is the password. I use a few different ones. I think this is it. Oh, well, that was the wrong password, so for your protection, we're suspending the account.
After one attempt.
One attempt.
That's pretty bad, yeah.
So then... let me change this. And it's like, okay, here's your Skype name. Either change password or put in your password. Okay, let me try this. Let me try my 3 base passwords. Oh, none of them work. Okay, let me oh, well, that code for changing password expired. You need a new one. Fine, give me the new one. Okay, let me change the password. Yes, Chrome, save the password. Sure. Okay, enter. Oh, wait, that was the wrong password that was still saved on there. Oh, you've had too many wrong password attempts. We're going to shut your account down. Try again later. But no idea how much later was. So somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes, I was able to use my new password because even with the new password, it's like, your account's locked down right now. Try back later. So even with finally new password, got in, and then it took another 10, 15 minutes for Skype to update. And then it was like, oh, well, you need to either close all your programs now or do it later and restart. It's like, fine, because AVG's wanting to update too, so... No, fine. Just, I will restart the computer. And I did. And then I loaded the different tabs here for the browser. Ugh.
Yeah, I had
and then somehow
AVG update. I had those updates like 2 days ago.
Well, it was wanting, like, postpone or restart now or postpone this message.
Yeah,
So
that
I
was like 2 days ago for me.
Yeah, so I just kept postponing it, and then finally, okay, let's just do it. And then somehow in all that, I was able to get Scott on for the surprise.
Yeah.
So it ended up working out, but oh my gosh. So, all right.
Yeah, apparently he hadn't sent me his new Skype name.
I didn't have it either. So
I didn't realize that was a thing. I didn't realize he had changed his Skype name a little bit.
Yeah. All right. So, in terms of actual games on Xbox One, I did play a little bit of Black Ops 3 multiplayer. The
new hotness.
The first double XP weekend they had. Nobody else was
and
on.
That was what, not last
week, week
before?
Ago. Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
So, yeah, gained a few levels, having some fun with that.
Yeah, apparently it's a really good version of Call of Duty this year.
Yep. I enjoyed this very much, and doing this made me realize that I did not have the right equipment for my PX5 Turtle Beach headset. So I thought, because I've got the Forza controller here, it's the 3.5 millimeter thing, I'll be fine because I have a new controller. All the 360 stuff was 2.5.
Really?
Yes. Huh. That's why when you buy the Microsoft adapter, it has those other cords with it.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So
that means the old 360 headset wouldn't work?
Correct.
Weird.
Because if you get they look really similar.
Yeah, they do.
If you saw the headset that came with my Forza bundle and you put the Microsoft headset right next to each other, they look really similar, but the connector, one's 3.5, one's 2.5 inches, whatever.
I don't understand why they would do that. That makes no sense.
I don't either. That's, because of all these adapters and BS. So, thankfully,
okay, whatever.
the wire that I bought last year that I thought and is kind of for PS4, but didn't have the volume controls on it. Thankfully, that wire, which is now out of stock on Turtle Beach, is the wire you need for Xbox One, and I bought the actual Turtle Beach adapter. They have their own chat adapter. So I had to order that from Turtle Beach, and then it's like, to get free shipping, I might as well order the actual PS4 adapter with the volume controls on it for chat and game. I might as well order that while I'm at it, and then, let's throw in this really cheap 360 adapter so I get free shipping.
Okay.
So now I'm fully capable, fully ready to do voice chat on Xbox One. I just been playing a game we'll get into in a bit, and just haven't been playing Black Ops or trying to start Destiny on Xbox One when people are on. So, but I'm fully powered up and ready to do it
now. Now is the perfect time to try Destiny on Xbox One because they just introduced the friend referral system. So we could go on a little bit of an adventure and get you some custom emotes and custom shaders and stuff. Oh, it'd be so fun. Yeah.
All right. Well, good.
Get Excellent. Our custom high five emote.
Okay. That'll work.
Yeah. That'll even get you a really cool custom looking sword.
All right. That works.
I mean, it doesn't do anything different than the normal swords, but, looks different, so sure.
Yeah. All right. So there was one weekend of Blops, and then I did one weekend before release of Star Wars Battlefront via EA Access.
Okay.
And I played about 3 hours of that. I could still play another, 6-7 hours. And
so is this the game every Star Wars fan has been looking for?
No.
Yeah, I didn't feel it during the beta either. It's good. It's good.
It's good, yes. It's not $110 good.
What?
Well, 60 plus season pass.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Which, it's amazing that so many of the games media has been $50 season pass, $50 season pass. Where have those people been? Because Battlefield and Call of Duty have had $50 season passes for years.
Yeah, that's been an ongoing thing. I don't know why they're thinking it's new.
Yeah, because they're harping
Really
about
old.
the $50 season pass at EA's $50 season pass, $50. I'm like, where have you guys been? Battlefront and Call of Duty have been doing this for multiple releases. Hell, Forza's been doing it. That's why I said Call of Duty and Battlefield have been doing this for multiple releases now. Forza does it. Forza has had $50 season passes.
So many games are doing it. It's so ridiculous. They're just pumping out so much money from season passes.
Yeah, Forza Horizon 1 had this. Forza 5 had it. 6 technically doesn't have it, but if you do VIP plus the pass, it's 50. So they did 50, they just broke it into 2 chunks.
God, Destiny was almost 50, wasn't it?
Destiny was 35 originally
35?
for the expansion pass. Or you had to buy the limited or Ghost Edition. And then now, like...
Wasn't worth it.
Like, you hear people at GameStop talking and people will be calling about used copy of Destiny. It's like, yeah, if you've not played Destiny before, you really don't want the used copy because you're going to be locked out to about 3/4 of the content if you don't have the current stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's made like the Destiny disc worthless.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I've played, 3-4 hours of Battlefront. I still have another 6 to go. And I was on board enough to buy the game, but then the cost of your secret gift was like, yeah, I need to return this. Thankfully, I hadn't opened it yet.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, I kind of need to return this because I just can't afford that right now. And it's a good thing, too, because I wouldn't have played it any. It would still be sitting sealed. So, and Best Buy's return policy is only 15 days, unless you're an elite member. So,
okay.
All right. So that's it for Xbox One. PS.
Yeah, I just don't see it being full price worthy at this point.
Games.
There's just not enough there in Battlefront.
GameStop has it on sale right now for $40. Or
I mean, that's definitely closer to what it should be.
40 for the regular, 50 for the deluxe. And if you want to buy the season pass, they take $20 off the season pass if you buy it with the game, even at the sale price. So for $70-$80, you can get Battlefront with the pass right now at GameStop as we're recording this now.
I mean, that's better than getting it full price.
It's better than the people that paid $110, $120 at launch, yeah.
Yeah.
Less than a month ago, yeah.
I think I'd still wait.
Yeah, I am too. But, that option is out there. It's a good game. Don't get me wrong. It is a good game.
Nothing wrong with it. Plays perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Shooting is great. Just
it works
not
pretty
a lot
well,
there.
Unlike what I've heard from Rainbow Six Siege, which has been a server mess apparently.
Yeah, I did have some trouble during the beta too.
Well, it's not gotten much better in the retail release, so
yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. All right, moving on to PS4. I played a very brief amount of Divinity Original Sin after we recorded the last episode. Just enough to say I played it, but not enough to advance past the next major story beat. I'm tracking down the murderer of this guy who you were sent to solve the murder of. You find out who the real murderer is, and I'm at that point now. And I have to go chase after her, so that's where I ended up Divinity. And I haven't really played it again because of the other RPG. I will touch briefly that I've played more Madden Ultimate Team solo. My team is now ranked 86 overall rating, even though I've only played one match against a human, one or two,
okay.
one in Mutt. But yeah, so still having fun with that. I actually need to play some of the time-sensitive things either after we record this or tomorrow night after I get off of both jobs. Or I actually start my 2 jobs later so I can do it in the morning, but some of the stuff is time-sensitive, so I gotta get on that. And then the thing I put 50 hours into since we recorded the last episode is Fallout 4.
Well, at least one of us is playing some big new releases.
Now, granted, remember, I famously only played about 10 hours of 3, bought all the DLC for 3, still have never played it.
Yeah.
Bought Fallout 4 at launch to get the free guide and Xbox gift card at Toys R Us. Bought all the DLC. Still haven't even started New Vegas.
Yeah.
But of course, Skyrim got me all in. And then I got the Pip-Boy for never going to use it, but it's sitting there.
Of course, because it's a giant hunk of plastic.
And I am not going to wear it and trash another reviewer while the company I work for was paid by Bethesda to make videos of said game. Meg Turney, you are dead to me.
Wow. Okay.
You know about that?
No. I know Meg Turney, that's all.
Your boys and gals at Rooster Teeth, their podcast a couple weeks ago went off on Jeff Gerstmann because they think he rated the game too low to basically to be a hipster,
No.
Yeah.
When a game is that buggy, it doesn't deserve full review score. Sorry, it just doesn't.
I will give you a link later on to put in the show notes.
I think Jeff is justified in giving his score as exactly what he gave it.
I can find it quick. There, Pat the NES Punks podcast touched on this, and it puts in the said clip from the Rooster Teeth podcast. So that would be a good link to use.
And a good one for the show notes, too.
Yeah. And then Jeff didn't say it by name, but somebody asked him about it on his Tumblr, and Jeff had a pretty good response to it. So I will try to find that. That would be
a review is technically an opinion. It's supposed to just give you the overview of what the reviewer thought of the game.
So for those that don't know, Jeff Gerstmann, Giant Bomb, he gave 2 different scores. He gave the game a 4 out of 5 on PC, and gave it,
which seems about right.
And he gave it a 3 out of 5 on console because of the inferior performance of the console version versus the PC version. Now,
he has massive technical problems.
I will say that I have not run into any of the issues on PS4 that he did, but
a lot of those were late game though.
And I'm
just to be fair.
Okay, and I'm 2/3 of the way through the campaign, through the main story.
Right,
so
okay.
I put 50 hours in, and I've yet to. But famously, he was talking on another show that, people thought he was crazy for his higher than normal review of Fallout New Vegas, and he did not run into any of the issues on console that other people did with New Vegas, even though it's, basically the same engine. So he was like, well, New Vegas, everybody thought my score was too high, and then when people confronted me about it, I was like, well, I'm not having the problems you had. Like, I put a note in the review, but I had to say I did not encounter these problems, but other people do.
Yeah.
So my PS4 version has played just fine, has looked fine. So, yay. I mean, I was seriously worried that in the lead up to this, because thankfully I never tried to play Bethesda games on PS3. That was such a launch show.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Yeah. But thankfully it works well. I mean, so far.
Yeah, they definitely seemed like they got their stuff together and fixed a lot of the problems with the engine for PlayStation systems.
Well, it's because of the cell. It was the cell processor and the way it produced the video and the RAM memory and all that stuff. That configuration just didn't gel with Bethesda's engine.
Yeah.
It's just that PS4 is essentially almost as much of a PC as the Xbox One is, maybe even more so.
I mean, they're both essentially just stripped down PCs.
Yeah. So that's why it was a bit different. But so I was tempted at one point of getting the Xbox One version, but I was like, no, I'm gonna stick to my gun. I'm get this on PS4. That way I'll be able to play it when it's the patching. Literally, the decision came down. Because mods are coming first to Xbox, and who knows when they'll come to PlayStation. But literally, it was You know what's going to happen with Fallout? It's going to be sitting there patching, and you're going to want to play it, and you can't because of how the Xbox One works. So that was literally why that was like the breaking point decision of going PS4 versus Xbox One. Was the way Xbox One handles its patching and installing. That ended up being the straw that broke the camel's back. And funny, we'll get to it in the NPDs. A lot of people went the same way I did. Well, also console numbers, but we have some funny things to talk about the November NPDs when we get to it. But
Okay.
I am enjoying Fallout 4 quite a bit. You can actually shoot. You know, you can play the game kind of as a shooter. I mean, obviously that. We'll get to this in a second.
It's much more skill based than Fallout 3 or New Vegas was.
Those games you just cannot play without using VATS all the time. And I'm trying to remember how that worked in 3 but in 3 were you limited by your action points? You had to let that.
Yeah.
Okay, so same system as in 4, but in 3 you couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. It seemed like, unless
if you weren't actually in VATS, yeah.
Now you can't.
You had to be in VATS to be able to hit stuff.
Oh, now I have a really nice sniper rifle. I am just sniping fools like crazy without being.
Like I said, it's much more skill based.
The only time I use VATS now is as a scouting thing. Like I'll just be hitting L1, 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 looking for like frag mines.
Yeah.
You have to be careful though because the laser tripwires don't do that, or if the frag mine is around the corner of a door, it won't see it because your perception can't see it. At least my level 6 perception can't see it.
Okay.
So, but I use it for that as scouting, and then I also use it on like the smaller enemies, like the bug enemies that kind of swarm you. All the animals,
like the roaches.
Yeah, rad roaches, the stinger things,
those bloat flies.
Yeah, the bloat flies. There's also the something stingers. I forget blood something.
The bee things. Yeah.
And then the rad scorpions. Now for other stuff, I won't. You know, death. I've only done 2 death claws. One is story driven. You'll encounter it, and then I encountered 3. I encountered 3 so far. That's right.
Yeah.
I got this special fat man, like in Fallout 3. Were there like star legendary enemies that when you kill drop a random legendary item?
Not really, no.
Okay, so that's new for 4. So in 4...
Yeah, there were legendary weapons, but they were not dropped specifically by enemies.
Okay, so in Fallout 4, there are legendary weapons and items that you can buy. Vendors will have them. Certain vendors have certain ones. But then there are also legendary enemies that roam around, and they have a star next to their type. And when you kill them, they drop a random legendary item. Could be an armor, could be a weapon, whatever.
You know, this is sounding way more like Destiny the more you start describing it.
So I killed some legendary, like one of just the roaches or something. I forget what it was. And he dropped this legendary fat man.
Wow.
This legendary fat man. I've had 2 legendary fat mans drop. I've had 2. The second one I sold because it was 50% extra damage to Mirelurks and bugs. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like that good.
Here was the good one. I'd found 3. And I also sold my normal fat man because I got this legendary one. This legendary one, if it is the first hit, it does double damage.
Wow. That's pretty
almost,
damn good.
Almost the second and third death claws I encountered, I almost one-shotted them.
Damn.
Like one shot took out 90%, and I was wearing power armor so I could carry the fat man in a minigun, and then the minigun took out the other 10%.
That's pretty damn good, yeah. That'll do it.
That is like the most insane. I was like, and I mean, you know, if it had dropped from a super mutant or something, you know, okay. drop from some random bug enemy. It's like,
I don't know.
holy, like, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is insane. Like, I wonder, like, I've not heard anybody talk about this weapon. It's like, am I the only one with this weapon? I need to do, like, a YouTube search and see if anyone... I mean, this thing is so insane.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Crazy.
It doesn't matter what enemy it is. If that is the first hit that the enemy takes is from that nuke, from that fat man, it does 50% extra damage. So it can one-shot, I guess, literally anything except a boss character or Deathclaw. And it hits the Deathclaw hard enough to, like I said, a normal Deathclaw, it does 90% of its health.
Jeez, yeah. I mean, I guess the only problem would be it's the limited amount of ammo.
Yeah. I don't carry it often. I just found it and then put it in storage. But when I got to this point in the story, you are having to go through this super irradiated outdoor area to where it's like, if you don't wear a hazmat suit or power armor, you're dead from radiation.
That seems like a bit of a problem, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I took it with me because I knew that I was going to run into one Deathclaw going to the story event and ended up running into a second one randomly. And I was like, yep, good.
Right.
And ammo has no weight. I don't know if that's different from 3.
No, that's the same.
Okay. So,
which is good because you can over-encumber yourself so quick if you...
And here's the thing about the difference between 4 and 3, with 4 being post-Skyrim. Is in 3, all the random junk you were finding, you were just selling for penny caps.
Yeah.
In this game, you need it for the components to build. Because Fallout 4 has the entire, was it Hearthstone? The house building thing from Skyrim that was the $5 DLC?
Yeah.
It has that on steroids now.
Yeah, because now they're doing settlements.
Yes, you can just build up settlements like crazy. Now, I have not messed with it much. I will put some food down, a couple turrets.
Well, there's a reason for it, because then you can get different people to come to your town, and sometimes you can get merchants and stuff.
Yes, well, that's tied to a perk. The merchants are all tied. You have to be enough charisma to get the local leader perks. Excuse me. So you have to do all that. And that helps to get max enjoyment out of a settlement and happiness and yes. But I mean, I've messed with it a bit because, and then that's also all your weapon mods, like your full weapon, your mod customization. So if you want to mod your weapons, well, you need the components. So you need to collect all this junk. And what you do is then you go to whatever settlement, like I use the first town. That's like my main hub, same as it was for Jeff Gersman. So I
think that's what most people do.
I dump all my junk and all my extra weapons, whatever there. And then as long as I'm in the borders of that settlement, I can build whatever. Like it has, I have full access to everything I've collected. Now, the part that sucks is if I want to go build a different settlement, I have to manually grab the items I need that break down into whatever components I need and take them with me to when I travel to the new settlement. That stuff doesn't carry over. So that is an annoying thing.
Yeah, there's no shared inventory.
No, there's no shared inventory. Eventually, you can, if you build up the settlement enough, you can establish a person that will trade back and forth, but it takes in-game time, and it's still almost as annoying.
Well, I mean, it's optional, so you don't really have to do much with it.
Right, and I've not done, like, people are building, like, these gigantic castles and lighted basketball courts and neon signs and
giant logos of various shows.
Yeah, and that's great. I think you would really enjoy that, given anybody that's a Minecraft person. That's obviously their attempt to get that crowd in there.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, which is fine. And it's a nice feature that they've brought over. But See, I guess the thing is, there are probably some people that are Fallout out between 3 and New Vegas. I sense that from Gertzman's review and from other like podcasts I've listened to. And given that I didn't play 3 in Vegas much, like I'm happy.
Yeah, I think the fact that I didn't touch Vegas at all, probably a good thing.
Yeah. So I am enjoying it, but at the same time, this is just a better Fallout. This is not the revolutionary games that Witcher and Metal Gear are this year. And this isn't the, oh my god, look how big of an improvement this is from Dragon Age 2 to Dragon Age Inquisition. This is not Skyrim level of this is not
amazing.
Right, this is not Skyrim jump from Morrowind and Oblivion to Skyrim. This is not that jump. This is an evolutionary leap from 3 to 4, and hey, we're going to take some of our best ideas from Skyrim and put them into Fallout. Yeah. But at the same time, considering this game takes place 10 years after Fallout 3, we've got to keep a lot of the same things in there. So the hacky minigame is the exact same. And Jeff keeps talking about there's some site you can go to that if you put in all the choices of the words, you know, the Fallout hacking minigame, you'll see a bunch of gibberish text. So there's various there's various words that show up of different letter amounts. It's the same amount, but there'll be like 10 or so different words of various lengths depending on the difficulty of the hack. And you get 4 attempts and you have to figure out what word it is, and they'll tell you how many characters are correct. So it's just a puzzle of, I tried this one. 1 letter's right. Okay, let me search through here and try to guess at the next, okay, I gotta find one that has 1 of the same. Oh, that one's 2.
Yeah, that one I never liked.
Okay, it's the exact same.
I always had to just quick save right before I started doing it, and then just keep reloading if I failed.
Well, this time, I don't know if it's different than in 3. In 4, if you wait like 10 seconds, you can go back.
Or maybe that was what it was. I don't remember.
But
it's been a few years since I touched Fallout 3.
But here's the thing. So there's a site out there that was for Fallout 3. And if you put in the word choices and the difficulty of the thing, it would say, well, this is the correct answer.
Yeah.
That exact.
Yeah, I never used it, but I had heard about it once New Vegas came out.
The exact same one works in 4.
Yeah.
Exact
same. I mean, it makes sense because it's the exact same hacking minigame.
Yeah. And then, like the Pip-Boy mechanics and stuff. The only thing that's changed is going into VATS does not stop time. It just slows it down.
Yeah.
The only things that stop time are if you go into the Pip-Boy menu and if you hit, it's options on PS4, but essentially the start button. It's not called that anymore. It's options.
Yeah, if the button that gets you into the save, load menu, and quit menu.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only 2 ways to actually pause the game. And I don't know if this is different from 3 versus 4, but like if you're sitting there on a dialogue option and you don't hit either the Pip-Boy or the pause button, the person will be like, hello, you going to answer me? Not exactly that line always, but something to that effect, which is kind of cool.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I want to say I don't think they did that.
Okay. Well, if not, then that's a nice improvement. So.
Yeah, I think there was a lot more ambient dialogue in this game now.
Right. I mean, the dialogue. I mean, it's not. I mean, you can turn on subtitles, but you don't have these super long response. Because the character's voiced. When you come up with a dialogue option, you get 4 general. It's basically like a BioWare thing where it's kind of the general thing of what you're going to say, but it's not word for word what you're going to say because you're a silent protagonist like you were in 3 in New Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
But the graphics are, they're not Witcher.
Yeah.
They're not Dragon Age in combat. They're better. They're not going to blow you away. They're not Metal Gear. They're not these other things. I mean, essentially, and it is sold about the same as Skyrim in Skyrim's first month. So, I mean, if you were somebody that is just starved for a Bethesda RPG and, you just don't, you just, for whatever reason, won't play Witcher, won't play Dragon Age, you're like Bethesda. I mean, this is your first one of those for 4 years, and this is your first Fallout in 7 years if you didn't play New Vegas, so this is a much better version of Fallout 3, but this is not the evolutionary, like, oh my gosh, this is not the evolutionary leap Skyrim was, or Witcher 3, or Inquisition.
Yeah.
But as someone that barely touched 3 and hadn't touched New Vegas, I am enjoying myself 50 hours in. And especially the updating mechanics. It makes me dread going back to those games because I know that how hard.
Oh yeah, no, the shooting was just so bad.
Yeah.
You had to basically VATS was just a giant crutch because you had to rely on it.
Yeah.
So I mean that's good that they did fix that.
Yeah, they have totally fixed that.
All right.
So the only thing I will say, it is kind of weird how the story progresses. There are 4, I mean, much like the other games, there are 4 major groups. And I don't know between like 3 and New Vegas, but you almost have to touch all 4 groups. And then at some point, you have to make a choice and side with one of those 4 groups, and it will turn the others hostile to you.
Similar things did happen in 3. There wasn't you're gonna definitely get introduced and have to side with X group.
That has changed with it introduced you, or like literally I'm at the point now in the main story, I'm almost done with Act 2, but it's literally like, well, you need to go find the 4th group that you haven't found yet. And because they're the only ones that can do the thing you need to do to progress the main story. So you need to go find them. So, yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at.
All right.
So that is something to keep. And the reason I didn't do it is because the area they were in, the first time I went to that area, it had some huge super mutant behemoth thing roaming around in that area. And this was before I had a what is it? A fat.
Your god tier fat man.
Well, even a fat man period. Like I didn't get a fat man period yet when I encountered this area, because it's like these you have to like follow this trail of breadcrumbs to figure out this puzzle to get to where they're at. And there's this huge 2-3 story tall behemoth sitting in this park that I have to go walking around in. It's like, yep, nope. Even my companion, the newspaper lady's like, oh, Blue, this is Boston Commons. People don't come back from here. And I saw that huge behemoth, and I was like, yeah, that's probably why. So, yep, see you guys. I'm not gonna touch you for a while. And now it's at the point where I have to go back, and I just hope that this huge super behemoth isn't there. If not,
you could probably take him out with the fat man. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that requires me hooking up the power armor, and then so it's gonna be like I'm gonna go there, and it's gonna be like if he's still there, it's gonna be like nope, reload, save, go to Sanctuary, load up, and like okay, let's load up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, potentially you could sneak around him.
Not with. I was able to because I had to go past that area to get to where I was going. So, yes, but this trail of breadcrumbs you have to follow to find this 4th faction, that's not going to be possible. Because it's literally like go here, and then go here, and then go here, and then go here, and if I have a huge behemoth there, that's going to have to go away.
Right. Yeah. All right. So, anything else?
No, that's it. Like I said, I'm enjoying my time with it, but I think it's a thing that I haven't played a Bethesda game in 4 years. I didn't play much of the other Fallouts, and this one functions much better than the previous ones, but this is not the evolutionary leap that some people thought of. I was awesome. I was nice that even though I haven't used the gun yet, I was able to use that bug to get the super duper gun from the opening vault. There was a bug, which you won't be able to do now because it's patched out. There's this, when you get to the end of the vault is once again the tutorial area. When you get to the end, there's this cryo gun that is locked in a master lock that you normally wouldn't be, or advanced or whatever. Normally you wouldn't be able to open it to level 18. In the core 1.0 version of the game, you could take the dog back to the vault and command him to fetch, and he would be able to fetch the gun out of the locked case.
Oh, jeez.
They patched that out.
Why is that even a locked case, though, if you can't even just get it out normally?
Well, it's because the gun's so powerful that you're not supposed to have it at the beginning of the game. It's
right. But can you even go back in there at some point?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, then, all right. That's not even really that much of an issue.
You can go back whenever you want, but it's just you get access to this super powerful gun.
Right. You're breaking the case open without actually opening the case.
Well, he doesn't even open the case. He just kind of like reaches up there with his paw and kind of like it just kind of clips out and then it falls on the ground. And it's like, okay, just pick it right up.
All right.
But yeah, you won't be able to do that now because that's patched out.
Hey, as long as I can come back and get it when I actually have lock picking, I'm fine.
Yep, absolutely.
All
right. So, Steven, what have you been playing?
Oh, repeats. Fun repeats. Fun repeats. Played one day of Ultra Street Fighter 4 with my cousin Wandering Storms. And it was like 2 hours, maybe, if that.
I finally bought that on PS4 because it was on sale on Black Friday along with Guilty Gear, but I haven't installed. I installed Guilty Gear because it was like 5 gigs. I've not installed Ultra yet because it was like 15.
It'd be kind of nice if Capcom would allow Microsoft to make that backwards compatible on Xbox One.
Capcom's all about that Sony now, though.
I'm just saying, it'd be nice. It's just backwards compatible. That way you don't have to constantly have to swap to 360 for it.
Not going to happen now because Ultra is a PS4 game now and Street Fighter V is a PS4 game.
But it wouldn't take Capcom doing any work, though. That's the thing.
Well, but their deal with Sony, they have to approve Microsoft making it backwards compatible. Sony probably wouldn't like it if 360 and Xbox One have access to a game that is technically exclusive for them.
I mean, all right, you're probably right.
Yeah,
you're probably right.
Business. I'm not saying that that's right. That business reasons, that's not.
Yeah,
happening.
No, you're probably right. But then I was playing a lot of Picross E6 for the 3DS. And I finally finished the regular Picross puzzles. Completely forgot that the final page of puzzles was actually a 15 by 20 puzzles. All of them. So they ramped up on that final page. But yeah, got through them all. Did them all. They were all pretty good. So now I moved on to the Micross puzzles for E6, which is the classical paintings that are broken up into Picross puzzles. Finally, so I just started the first one, and that's where I currently am. Alright, and then I was, of course, just playing some repeats on PC, some more Hearthstone. Not really much new in Hearthstone. Just leveling up, getting some cards and stuff. Really not much there. Then I played a couple matches of Heroes of the Storm as well. It continues to be a fairly fun MOBA. I finally broke down and purchased a second character, I want to say. So now I have access to at least a couple more characters off the bat. They actually made them a little bit cheaper recently, so it wasn't too bad price-wise for gold. And that's in-game currency, because, yeah, not paying real money for that right now. Let's see. Not really much else to say. They added another new character, which is this character that they just added recently that's actually a really interesting idea. It's a co-op character. Two people play essentially the same character, but it's not quite that simple. One person is Cho and one person is Goth of Cho'Goth. So each side has different abilities, but they kind of synergize a little bit. So it's an interesting character. I haven't been able to play him yet because I haven't. A what? Division? Who? What?
That's the person, right?
Oh, okay. All right. Get it. Yeah, it's like I said, I haven't been able to play with it because I haven't been able to play with anyone who actually owns it. Because you actually have to play with someone who owns the Cho'Goth before you can actually unlock him permanently.
Oh.
So it's interesting. Well, it's interesting because, like I said, it's a co-op character in a MOBA. Two people are playing the same character. It's a weird, interesting idea. You can't actually buy him. He has to just straight up be unlocked. Which, I mean, that's fine, I guess. Definitely would be interested in playing a couple games to unlock him and see how he plays. Alright, and that's it for those. So we'll move on to Xbox One, where I did play one new thing on Xbox One.
Okay.
I played all 5 episodes of Life is Strange.
Yes! Yes! Yay!
And I did not have the love that you and Ginyu had for it, that's for sure.
Oh, okay.
Not quite as super lovey-dovey on that one.
Not
Good.
Mm-hmm.
More people should try it out, but not loving it. That's
not loving it so much to buy next month the limited edition on disc with art book soundtrack and commentary track.
Nah, I'm good on that
one. Well, I know.
I will say this though. Mm-hmm. Episode 2, super slow.
Yeah.
And screw you, Junkyard. You were the worst section in episode 2. Oh my god, I wanted to pull my hair out.
Section in the whole game. Yeah.
I wanted to pull my hair out so badly.
I'm curious to see how Giant Bomb
I had to break down and go to GameFAQs and look it up. And it was just like, okay, there's supposed to be some hidden path? Okay. I went around the entire junkyard for 30 minutes, never found this tiny little path in between cars.
Yeah, I mean, Ginyu and I both talk about it. I mean, that's the worst part of all 5 episodes. They even allude to it in the 5th episode in the nightmare scene there near the end.
And Max, oh my god, your little hint was not helping that you repeated it like 20 friggin' times. Oh, I think there's a bonfire around here where all the kids gather. That doesn't help me. Oh, God, that was the worst part. If I really was not in for the entire 5 episodes, I probably would have just broke down and just said, screw it, I'm done. It was so frustrating.
Yeah.
But once I got to the end of episode 3, I got intrigued. Yep. Enough to keep going for episode 4 and 5.
And then the end of 4.
And once I got to the end of episode 4, I'm like, okay, This I did not see coming.
Yep.
This is a mystery that I wouldn't have been able to wait more than 48 hours to find out what happens. So I don't know how you guys did it back when it was
a month
like
per
month and a half between episodes.
Yep.
So it definitely gets you a pretty good, interesting story at the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, 2 is the weakest by far. I think 1, 3, 4, and 5, especially you get midway to the end of 3 into 4 into 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely crescends earlier than a Telltale game does.
Yeah.
Generally, Telltale's worst episodes are always their third one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the hump episode,
Yeah,
so, you know.
but this one kind of, they had a little bit of a rough patch with 2, but then 3, 4, and 5 just take it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I got through 2, but yeah, I mean, I can see where 2, I mean, 2 was really frustrating. I'm not going to lie.
Thankfully, I listened to the spoiler cast for episode 3 that you guys did back when that one originally came out.
Uh-huh.
You and Ginyu. Yeah, didn't have that trouble you guys had in that club scene, the dance scene, or the trouble that you had because you had forgotten how the Max's power worked, how it didn't move her.
Oh, that wasn't in the club. That was at the very beginning.
It was the dance. Oh, that's right. That was the right. I forgot.
That was the very beginning of the episode.
Yeah, with the principal.
With the principal, yes.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Forgot the section that it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I that was just a part of the game mechanics. It's like, okay, Max doesn't move from where you're rewinding time.
Right.
That's just part of the mechanic.
But here's the thing: you're doing that
with time in between. I can understand how that you might forget that.
Exactly.
So yeah, it was worth playing it all in a row, basically.
So how do you feel? I mean, apparently Tales from the Borderlands is like super awesome. I have it. I have it all downloaded and installed, need to play it.
I gotta get it for PC because I would not want to. Oh, that's the other thing. Man, there were some technical issues on Xbox One.
Never had it on PS4. It ran flawlessly.
Episode 1. Go to load up the game.
Mm-hmm.
Brand new, fresh save. Click load, play new game. Crash to the desktop, to the dashboard.
Wow.
Hard crash. Just like, okay. Let's try that again.
Never had that issue on PS4.
I had tons of slowdown, lots of missynced audio to the voice flaps. It was really annoying more than anything else.
Wow, that's really surprising because
it's kind of just a technical mess on Xbox One.
You had none of those problems.
If you're gonna play it PC, it's probably the way to go.
PS4, I will fight that the PS4 version, I do not have any of those issues.
I don't know if there's any similar issues at all or not, but yeah,
the people that are playing it have played it on PS4 or PC.
Yeah.
You know, I think Giant Bomb was doing it on PS4. I know the Game Trailers people were doing it on PS4, and none of them had the issues that you're having. So
definitely not a good version of the game, that's for sure.
Weird.
Yeah, I mean, it was on sale, so...
Well, yeah.
But then I could have just waited like 2 or 3 weeks anyway, and it was on sale on PC again.
Right, but you didn't know that at the time.
Yeah, I know.
You had some health issues, and we were supposed to originally record this
I bought it like a month and a half, 2 months ago.
I know. What I'm saying is this episode was originally supposed to record on the Sunday after Black Friday, and we're here we're almost 2 weeks later.
I probably bought it like 2.5 months ago.
Right.
back just before the fifth
It went
episode
on
came
sale.
out?
Everybody did a sale because of the Game Awards. Because this actually did win. This won, like, I forget what award it won. It won one of the...
Wasn't it audio or something?
Well, no, it may have done that. There was one of the Keeley, was like, it won, like, I don't think it was story. It was like, there was some minor award it won. And I had missed like the first hour or so of the awards. And I tune in literally right before he says, and the winner of the Outreach or whatever it was award is Life is Strange. And yes, I screamed, and I spooked the other person I was working with so bad because I was at job number 2 where I'm not by myself. And had access to Wi-Fi, so yeah.
All right, but did you at least explain what happened?
Yes, well, she is also, well, no, she's probably when she graduates college, she's going to play Life is Strange because me and our other friend who used to work there but then got promoted to another store, we both have been harping on her like crazy. You've got to play Life is Strange. You've got to play Life is Strange.
If you're pushing people too much to play it, that's probably a bad idea.
It's not,
actually,
it's not.
It's good. It's not the amazing game you guys were seeming to suggest.
Okay, that's fine, but it's the type of game she would like. It's just because she's an assistant manager at the store, so working 40 hours a week and trying to graduate. So she has very limited time.
Very little time, yeah.
So.
Makes sense. All right, but didn't see that ending choice coming, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it had the...
Basically, either you're damned if you do or you're damned if you don't.
I kind of... did you listen to our episode? Me and Ginyu...
No, I didn't listen to the full spoiler cast for episode 1 through 5.
Okay, we called it. We called it on our episode 4 one. The first...
Oh, I didn't know.
One.
I didn't know how it was going to work out.
Right. We called it. We got it.
Oh, but some of those theories you guys had for the end of episode 3,
yeah.
Wow. I'm like, okay, well, I know what's going on, and that's not even close.
Games for Impact. That's the award Life is Strange won at the Game Awards. Games for Impact.
All right.
I
guess because of the college life-ish stuff that they were doing in the game?
Yeah, it was also up for like indie game. It was up for a couple things, but that's the one it won.
Yeah. All right.
So.
It's, like I said, it's worth playing. Just did not feel the absolute, utter gushing love that you guys felt. Okay. That's for sure.
Okay.
But it did surprise me with the ending. It took me a second to really think that through, that last decision. I'm like, I mean, there's kind of only one choice, but do I really want to sacrifice this and this? I gotta do what's right for everyone.
That's what there's a lot of people that did the other choice, though, and can defend it. And can defend it.
There are reasons to defend both choices. Yeah.
Which is really awesome because.
But I'm a goody two shoes, and I gotta try and help everyone.
Yeah, that's what happened with me as well. So
yeah.
Hey, it's getting a retail release next month. If you're vehemently against downloadable games, the retail release is coming. So next month. So.
Yeah, if you can somehow power through episode 2 and get to episode 3, yeah, it's worth playing it.
Yeah.
Alright, and then the last thing that I was playing is some brand new patches for, of course, my number one game that I just keep playing and can't stop, Destiny.
Okay, real quick. Why in the holy bleep is the thing that you're getting ready to talk about a 3-week thing and it's gone? In a game starving for content, why introduce something that cool and then be like, oh, it's gone in 3 weeks?
because it's a live event and not actually dedicated content that's going to be there forever. It's going to be, they want to make it a big to-do when they go to bring it back at a later date with more content.
I am not happy
before
with that.
Before we get to that part,
continue.
They added in a bunch of new exotic pieces of armor, a couple new exotic weapons. They changed a bunch of the properties for some of the exotic stuff. They completely 100% revamped how Dragon's Breath, the fire rocket launcher, works from year one. So instead of firing out a single projectile that when it impacts a enemy or surface, it created a solar flare effect, doing damage to people caught in it. Well, now it is basically a napalm launcher. It fires a canister that when you hold down the trigger, it primes it. And when you release the trigger, it explodes, spreading a giant field of napalm on the ground. And enemies or players who enter that field now catch fire and take damage over time from fire. It is now actually a really cool, interesting, fun, exotic rocket launcher. And that's a giant change from year one for that one. Then they brought back the Mida multi-tool, one of the best scout rifles in the entire game. It still continues to be one of the best scout rifles in the entire game if you're into exotic scout rifles. So, if you find one, keep it. That's what I will say. Let's see. Mostly just been playing a bunch of raids. They added a bunch of new items to the raids as well. Since, I don't remember last episode, I think they had just released hard mode. Or just shortly before that. And now recently they've unlocked challenge modes for the raids. And those can be done in either normal or hard mode. Challenge mode is basically a specific set of requirements to defeat a certain enemy during the raid. So the first week, which was last week, was the War Priest, and you had to cycle through each person having the aura, because the same person couldn't have the aura more than twice. And the aura is what allows you to damage the War Priest. Other than this, that was actually a really kind of mediocre, super underwhelming challenge mode, because the War Priest kind of just is sort of built in such a way that it doesn't really take that much effort to do that. Yeah. But then this week was Golgoth's challenge mode, and Golgoth's challenge mode was actually a little bit more challenging, because during each time you got Golgoth's gaze, every single player in your fire team had to get the gaze before losing it. So a little bit more challenging, but still totally doable, because I actually did do it with Mortific and the raid group that we usually run with. So it didn't take long before we were able to really do that pretty quick. Just mostly been raiding a heck of a lot with both my Titan and my Warlock. So my Titan and Warlock are pretty raid resilient at this point. Mostly just been playing my Hunter. Got my Hunter up to basically raid ready. Just don't have the best gear possible, but my level is more than high enough for the raid. So now I'll have to try and do the raid with my Hunter and get that rolling. The new things that they added for Destiny, and this new thing that they just added recently is from the new hotness patch on Tuesday. So this is super fresh. They added Sparrow Racing League into the game. So basically you just race around 2 tracks specifically created for Sparrow Racing. and that's it. It's just 2 tracks. The only thing that changes is the enemies that are sitting on the tracks. They can be any combination of enemies that would be found on the planet.
Let's sigh.
It's just so thin. It's fun, but there's just not much to it. I completed my Class C license, which gave me a brand new Sparrow, which is actually kind of worse than my current Sparrow. Mostly just the boost is weaker. But beyond that, it's... if I wanted to, I guess I could keep going and racing him for the next 2.5 weeks-ish and get as many Sparrow races in under my belt as possible. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's a good starting point. But there's just not much to it, unfortunately. If you're really hard up for racing and you really like Destiny a lot, there's fun to be had. But with only 2 maps, there's just not a lot to it. I did come in first place on at least 2 or 3 rounds of racing. It's standard 3-lap racing. One of the courses is just a giant downhill run until you get to a teleporter that teleports you back to the top, which is fun. You have to be on point with your driving of your Sparrow, so if you're not, you're going to flip yourself around, you're going to flip over, you're going to explode, and then you're going to have to respawn. There's brand new gear that's specific for the Sparrow racing. Some of it gives you perks specifically for Sparrow racing, but most of it's just cosmetic for the most part. Only, I think, the helmets, and I want to say maybe gloves or boots could potentially give you perks that would be usable in PvP or PvE normally. But it didn't seem like there were too many things that were all that interesting, really. But there are a bunch of bounties associated with it, so if you really want to just get some XP, it's quick, it's fine. Even if you lose in 5th place or 6th place, because it's just a 6-person racing. It does actually count as a win, technically, for Crucible, so if you get Crucible bounties that need wins, that's a quick way to actually cheese it and get yourself some wins. Each of the races kind of takes about 5 minutes-ish, depending on how fast each of the racers is going. The race actually doesn't end until all racers cross the finish line, which can take about an extra 30 seconds, more than it should. And then, of course, you have to wait the 25 seconds before the scoreboard countdown, and then the actual match to finish. So, like I'm saying, it's just kind of a little slow at the very end when it's like, okay, we have our 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. None of the other positions really matter. Why are we not just getting our 25-second countdown right now?
Right.
But, yeah.
Okay.
It is what it is. But apparently we're going to get some more live events that are free starting early next year.
Oh, good.
So hopefully they'll actually have something that's a little bit more meaty than this.
Okay.
Because as long as Eververse Trading Company is supplementing their income, they don't have to force themselves to put out some mediocre expansions like The Dark Below. Or something that's a little more substantial, but no raid.
Right.
Like House of Wolves. It just would be interesting and fun if they would somehow make the older raids fresh and more fun to go through again. Because I actually did go through Vault of Glass and Dark Below, Crota's End. Couldn't remember the name of it for a second.
Okay.
And Crota's End is super easy on normal mode. So is Vault of Glass. It is just insanely easy. But if you're actually kind of right around that level of gear, then that's actually really good to do those. Because they drop the raid gear and raid weaponry a lot more. And the raid gear it's still really good gear. So, that's actually the gear you can use until you hit level 40 and then start to go into Taken King stuff. Or just before until you start doing Taken King stuff. Alright, yeah, I think that's kind of basically it. I played some Iron Banner. There were some changes with the Iron Banner. You can actually get higher than 310 drops from Iron Banner. That's cool. I really enjoy that. That's for sure. So hopefully next, I think it's either this month or next month when Iron Banner happens. I think it's actually this month. Yeah, because Iron Banner wasn't last week. It was the week before. Yeah. So we should have one at the end of this month. And then I'll be able to get some more Iron Banner gear that's pretty cool and awesome. So, yeah, it's just a lot of Destiny. Now I have 3 characters that are almost 310 apiece. Help me. Alright, so that's all the stuff that I've been playing. So we've got, what was the NPDs you said?
Yes, we have 3 months of NPDs here to do.
That shouldn't take that long to go through. Alright, so let's hit those NPDs.
Now it's that time of the month that causes gamers worldwide to be crabby and irrational. No, it's not PMS. It's NPD.
Alright, so, numbers.
Yep.
Lots
Lots.
lots of months of numbers.
Yep. So we're doing September, October, November, and the November ones just happened the yesterday before we recorded. So, sorry if some of these are old, but we just didn't get these covered. All right.
It's been a while. A lot of times we had to cut our episodes short.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. So, September, PS4 was the best-selling console, but it was down a bit. Xbox One was down a bit. Wii U was still third, but was up 110% over August. That was because, of course, that was the month Mario Maker came out.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So, it's estimated that the Wii U actually sold not 89,000 units that month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah, better, but...
Still lagging behind really bad.
Yeah. All right, so going number 10 was Minecraft. 9, debut of NHL 16. Number 8, debut of Mad Max. Number 7, technically the second month of Disney Infinity 3.0, but didn't chart in the first month. Number 6, debut Super Mario Maker. Number 5, also a debut, Destiny the Taken King. Number 4, also a new debut, FIFA 16. Number 3, debut, Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain. Number 2 in its second month, because it had a week in August numbers, was Madden 16. And number 1 with a bullet, the best launch month ever for a sports game, and it only had 1 week, was NBA 2K16.
Wow. Okay.
Retail software was down 3%, and hardware sales were down 27% over September 2014 to make retail down 9% year over year.
All right.
Things to note, the heavily marketed as a PlayStation game Destiny sold most on Xbox One, partly because of so many copies being sold in bundles, which don't count.
Yeah.
Other than that, the only other game that sold more on Xbox One than PS4 of like new games was NHL 16. Surprising because Madden sold most on PS4, so that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Mario Maker in its first month has sold about 500,000 units, so it's on its way to becoming one of the rarefied air of the million seller club on Wii U, which is literally...
I mean, it's a good game. It's really good.
Literally like 2 games have sold... I guess, no, 3 games now have sold 1 million on Wii U.
It has helped create some of the worst monstrosities and some of the best creations possible.
I really need to watch a bunch of that Klepek and Riker stuff.
Oh, those Mario Maker mornings. Oh my god, they're so good sometimes. If it's Klepek versus Dan Reichert, oh man. You know you're in for something interesting.
Yep.
And then yesterday he found somebody who he really liked creating a bunch of levels. That was a really good episode yesterday.
All right. Yep. Moving to October. Yeah, I need to watch that. Those are highly recommended. They're on Patrick Klepek's YouTube.
Personal YouTube, yeah.
So that's where. And then Giant Bomb. There's a lot of the associated Giant Bomb ones that have some of the creation or have the recordings from Periscope of. There's one that is like Periscope of Dan watching Jeff, a Periscope of Drew watching Dan watch Jeff, all watching.
Yeah, that was
Patrick.
like, I was like, it was like the weirdest rabbit hole of like people watching Patrick.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, maybe that's a little too far down that hole.
There's one of those on the Giant Bomb. I forget what's unarchived. That's the YouTube Giant Bomb unarchived, which copies all of their Periscope and some of Jeff's Mixlers. Like it recorded the one of him and Alex, which is one of the few. Jeff anymore. I don't listen to him anymore because he generally doesn't talk. He just lets the radio play. He might talk, a few sentences in that whole hour plus drive, but when the East Coast was in town and Navarro's from the same town as him, Navarro wrote in with him. So I need to listen to that one.
Yeah.
All right. Moving to October. For the first time in a long time, Xbox One was the number 1 selling hardware. So it's selling around 300,000 units in the month of October of 2015, up 81% from October 2014. Of course.
Interesting.
Not hard to figure out why. We'll get to that in a second. Number 10, kind of a surprising chart in its debut, and as of right now, in terms of sales, the winner of the music battle, Rock Band 4.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of really the way it needs to go anyway.
The thing is, though, the clientele of like GameStop in the Midwest is all about Guitar Hero.
Which, that doesn't make sense because that's online only.
No, it's not online.
It's highly online specific.
It has the single player, but it has the single player going through things. The reason being is that they don't have huge DLC catalogs like a lot of people on the coast do.
Right.
So they're
okay.
I mean, they were just going from Guitar Hero to Guitar Hero and not. That's why they had to put out a game all the time, and then why Rock Band had to match it. Is because people in the Midwest just went from game to game, didn't buy up all the DLC. So.
Well, I mean, they technically couldn't they just import from previous discs?
Well, yeah. I mean, you could do that if they were connected online. So.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and then also, like you said, it's just Rock Band. Just for some reason here in the St. Louis area was never as popular as Guitar Hero. I don't know why. It's just weird. It's a weird derp thing. I don't know. Number 9, getting into some console exclusives finally. Number 9, Uncharted Nathan Drake Collection.
Okay.
Then another exclusive, number 8, Yoshi's Woolly World.
It was a little disappointing. It still looks awesome.
Number 7, Destiny, which with PS4 taking the lead.
Yeah,
back
all right,
from the Xbox
sure.
One version.
Yeah.
Number 6, FIFA. Number 5, kind of surprising to me that it was this high, 2K16 WWE. Especially because it only had 1 week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess because the Creator Wrestler was back in a force to be reckoned with this year.
Yeah, the career mode was a little bit better, but
It's still wrestling in a video game, which is still really bad.
Yeah. All right, number 4 was Madden. Number 3, and one of the worst selling performances it's ever had, Syndicate. Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Sorry, Jeff.
Yeah. A lot of people seem to be forgetting. Oh, wait, that's right. There was another 2
Series.
games that by that same name.
Series called Syndicate, yes.
Yeah.
Number 2, NBA 2K16. Its second month. And, of course, the number 1 game, Halo 5 Guardians.
Yeah, yep, of course.
Yep. And hardware sales were up 3% overall.
Makes sense. It makes sense with the bump then.
Mario Maker was just outside of the top 10. If they went with the single SKU format like they did years ago, Super Mario Maker would have been in the top 10. So it's just outside the top 10 in October.
Okay.
Close that tab. And now November.
All right.
The fresh numbers. So something I forgot to mention about September, that was the biggest month of sales in the history of the PlayStation Store.
Okay.
They broke that in November. And it was their best Black Friday ever.
Yeah, a lot of the Black Friday deals for Xbox just really weren't great.
Yeah.
In the digital store.
The only one that was decent was Borderlands. Because that was around the prices or a little bit cheaper than some of the physical sale prices. But yeah, everything else, the physical copies were on sale for cheaper.
Yeah, it was kind of disappointing.
Yeah. All right, so
didn't touch any of those deals at all.
This month was also the best month for the Xbox One, PS4, and Wii U software ever, exceeding December of 2014 by 34%.
All right.
All right, so number 10. I want you to take a guess. Number 10. This is not a new debut. This actually came out in October. It did not hit the October number, but came in November.
Oh, jeez, what was released? Oh God, I'm blanking on everything. Why am I blank? You put me in the hot seat and I blank every time. Jeez.
What is your, and I'm being sarcastic, favorite game series of all time?
Oh, screw Ubisoft. Is it Dance?
Yes.
Just Dance. Stupid Just Dance.
2016. Want to take a wild guess as to its lead platform in terms of sales?
The Wii?
Yes.
Gee. Huh. Weird. All you have to do is waggle and you win.
You want to know number 2?
Stupid BS game.
2 was Wii U, so at least Wii U was second.
I guess. That's not comfort, though.
So yeah, just
that game series needs to die.
Yeah.
Stop making those games, Ubisoft. You just keep breaking my soul.
All right, moving on. Number 9, Assassin's Creed Syndicate with a huge drop. Number 8.
I mean, that's not surprising because the Assassin's Creed
Unity was
series
so bad.
has been on a slide for a while.
Syndicate seems like a competent game, but it's just people have such a bad taste in their mouth from Unity.
It's still too similar.
Yeah.
Better than last year by leaps and bounds. Too similar.
All right, number 8 with a huge drop was Halo 5.
You know,
kind of surprised this got in.
I mean, most people already got it, so, you know.
Oh, right, except for me, because I never finished 4 yet.
I didn't get it either yet, so don't feel so sad, because I'm specifically waiting for a sale on it.
Yeah, which reminds me, I got to hurry up and get the game we're not going to talk about in this top 10 while it's on sale this week. Number 7, surprised that this made it, Need for Speed.
A little surprising, yeah.
Yeah, especially that high.
I mean, horrible FMV that's not actually really funny.
Unlike,
What was the game you were saying you were going to get, though?
we'll get to it in a second.
Oh, I thought you said it wasn't on the
It's
list.
not on the list, but I'm trying to
All
build
right.
suspense here. We will.
All right.
All right. So number 6, FIFA. Number 5, NBA. Number 4, Madden.
Okay.
Top 3 are all debuts.
Okay, good.
Number 3, with
Battlefront?
the number 1, the best first month sales of any Star Wars game ever, beating Force Unleashed 1 by 21%. Number 3 is Star Wars Battlefront, selling the most on PS4.
There's a lot of hype for the new movie.
Yeah.
I hope it lives up to it.
Force Unleashed 1 is also the highest selling ever Star Wars video game at 7 million copies. So
I mean, it was a good game.
yeah. So that's EA's goal. EA's stated financial goal is to double that. So we'll see if they can do it.
That might be a little rough with a first-person shooter.
And sold best on PS4 for Battlefront. Number 2, up 70% from its previous game by a different developer, and 9% over the other previous game from the same developer, and comparable to the launch of their other style of fantasy series. Number 2, Fallout 4.
Yeah, okay.
70% higher than New Vegas first month, 9% higher than Fallout 3 first month. A launch similar to Skyrim's launch from November of 2011.
Yeah, with a lot more hype, though, that's for sure.
Here is the thing. Fallout 4 marketed as an Xbox game because of the code for Fallout 3 put in there and the whole backwards compatible thing. Sold best on PS4.
I mean, there are more PS4s, right?
Right. But it's just, it's a funny thing with all the marketing being,
You can't predict where people are going to buy something every time.
Well, right,
It's just a gamble.
I'm just saying Microsoft spent a lot of money on marketing, co-marketing that with Bethesda and it sells. And speaking of which, first place.
Tomb Raider.
No. Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. All right, that makes more sense, actually. I should have realized it was going to be Black Ops 3.
The best outselling Advanced Warfare, it says highest selling Call of Duty, highest selling game period since 2013.
For Black Ops?
Yes, Black Ops 3 is the best selling game, I guess, in a month since 2013. I wonder what game, would that have been Ghosts?
Yeah, I actually would have.
Or what else came out in 20... No, Grand Theft Auto.
No, it would have to be something else.
It's Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yep. You're right. Yep.
GTA. Yep.
Yeah.
So the game not on the list at all in the top 10, and people already yelling at Microsoft and making fun of them on Twitter. It's Tomb Raider. Which is on sale as we record this for $40, and I need to go price match at Best Buy.
That's a pretty good price. I need to go put that on my my Amazon list because I didn't even remember it.
Because Amazon would have it at that price right now because they're matching Target, and I have $15 in reward certificates from Best Buy, so that's why I need to price match at Best Buy.
I might actually have enough to get it right now if it's actually 40.
Yeah, it's 40.
Might have enough credit.
There you go.
I'll have to look.
All right, there you go. That's the NPDs.
I mean, not that I'll play it, because I still have like 3 or 4 other games to play first.
Right.
So maybe I'll just wait anyway and see if I can get it for like 35 or 30.
All right, a couple things to clean up real quick as we're winding down. Highly recommend the Humble Bundle that is going on right now. It is based around the 25th anniversary of Neo Geo. You can get 19 DRM-free Neo Geo games, with 5 of those also working through Steam codes. So Steam keys you can either give away or use yourself, but 19 top-tier Neo Geo games if you do $10. If you don't do $10, you still get a selection of games depending on how much you do. But $10 gets you the full list of 19, and they're going to add on a few more later on. So that should still be going when you're listening to this, but when you're listening to this, it's going to be in its final days.
Yeah.
So I highly, highly suggest, because I've always wanted to get these games, and some of them have been on like PS3, but they'd be $7 a game. So, I mean, granted, I don't think these have online play or anything, but 19 games for $10 is pretty good value.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's not bad at all.
So I highly recommend the Humble Bundle, checking that out. That's currently going on. Also, the person that I mentioned earlier who friended me through this show, his PSN is Division_013. So shout out to Division_013. Sorry, I tried to look while Steven was doing his games. I tried to load on the PlayStation app, but now the messages are a separate app. So I was like, screw it. I went while Steven was talking. I think you were talking about Heroes of the Storm. I had to go to my PlayStation and turn it on, go to the messages, and get your name. So, God, I need better internet so bad.
Yep. Yep.
All right. So,
well, you keep looking into your new internet situation, and hopefully we can actually play some faster online speed games together.
That's one of the reasons I haven't played Madden online, because the 2 games I played were kind of laggy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, games require a lot of upload speed now.
Yeah.
It's just it's getting, the internet is just choking on itself because there's so much media that it gets consumed.
Yep.
We really need to get a better way of doing this for the internet, because otherwise it's just going to be just nuts.
Yeah.
There's so much traffic each day.
Yeah.
All right, well, on that sad note, I guess that's going to be it for this episode. But hey, there's plenty of good stuff on the internet, thankfully. So that's what keeps us coming back to it for so much each day. So let's go watch some kitten videos or something just to get that bad taste out of our mouths.
I gotta go. I'm going to go draft Conspiracy for Magic the Gathering.
Or that. That would work
and
too.
By the way, I will have a deck for you at PAX. There is a pretty decent budget deck that's $20 to build from scratch, but I have, I think, all the cards for it, for the vast majority. Black, and I think there's some green. Yeah, it's black-green, but it's primarily black. And while I was here, I was getting the YouTube video of the reaction to the attack on Gerstmann. I will find it here while you're doing the outro and give it to you. The YouTube video from one of my favorite people. If you're starting out in Magic, go watch Tolarian Community College on YouTube. He is an awesome YouTuber for Magic, and a lot of stuff of how you really should get started. And then every now and then he will put out these budget decks. And this one is the $20 deck that I mentioned before that I will have for you at PAX. So if you want to play Standard, I will give you a competitive deck.
Cool. I'm more than happy to play some in person.
Yep.
Which reminds me, I should really do something with that Magic duels thing on my Xbox One.
If they would ever do the stupid Battle for Zendikar patch, it's still not come out. And they're already spoiling the new set that comes out at the end of January. We still don't have Battle for Zendikar and Xbox One. PC has it.
Hey, I'll at least play it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it on Xbox One, see if I enjoy playing that version, and if I do, maybe we can play a couple games together. For a change, because it's been how many years now?
Mm-hmm.
It's been way too long. All right, so on that note, I'll call that an episode where I have been racing into first place with my Sparrow, And then once I crossed that finish line, doing donuts just because I'm so happy. And being super disappointed that there's only 2 maps. My name is Stephen Boss, the Dark Boss Man.
I'm really annoyed at Microsoft. I'm really annoyed at my crappy internet. I'm MSU Hitman Jason Billingsley.
I think most people are really annoyed at their crappy internet. Trust me, you're not alone. Go ahead and subscribe to the show through iTunes, Zune Marketplace, wow, that's a throwback to an old one. Jeez.
Zune is completely dead now. Like, it's completely dead.
Yeah, it's been consumed by the Microsoft Marketplace, which was then consumed by Groove Marketplace.
It's dead.
Triple dead, yeah. But then you can also listen to us on the go on Stitcher Radio for your smartphones.
Yep.
Alright, so yeah. That's it for the episode. And if you want to, maybe you can find us on PSN. Wow, I am really screwing this one up. On Live, PSN, or maybe even on the net.
Peace out, everybody.